At the beginning of the film, we're told that it's based on a true story. We're introduced to a woman named Sachiko who is Japanese, staying in a hotel with her daughter. Both of them are terrified and her daughter, looking up at the ceiling, asks if they'll survive. Sachiko reassures her not to worry at all. Her husband is no longer in this world, but there are many people who will do everything they can to save them. A Japanese warrior arrives and kills all their men one by one. Meanwhile, Sachiko gives her daughter a locket and tells her it will protect her. Just then, the warrior enters and asks how they dared to flee Japan. Sachiko begs him to kill her if he must, but to spare her daughter. The warrior immediately snatches the locket from the daughter's neck and says even this won't protect her. He then slits both their throats and tosses the locket aside. The story then shifts to the present, where we see a girl named Sarah living alone in her apartment. She wakes up in the morning, gets ready, and heads out to college. We notice that in the part of town where she lives, there's a security guard stationed there. When Sarah arrives at college, the teacher is lecturing about supernatural things and says she believes they don't exist at all. In the same class, there's a boy named Aldo who tells the teacher he disagrees because he believes such things do exist. The whole class is shocked by what they've heard, but the teacher doesn't respond and dismisses the class. Once all the students leave, only Sarah and her friend Nita remain seated. Sarah is talking to Nita, who tells her that after class she's going to meet her dad. Nita says she fully believes in ghosts because she's seen supernatural things with her own eyes. Sarah is stunned by this and doesn't respond. Afterward, Sarah goes to meet her father. She feeds him food but doesn't live in his house because when she was little, her mother died, and Sarah blames herself for her mother's death. That's why she doesn't like staying in that house. When Sarah looks at her mother's clothes, she remembers her mom, but her father tells her not to blame herself at all, that whatever happened that day wasn't her fault. That evening, Sarah meets her friend Nita, who tells her she should bring some romance into her life so she can feel discharged and move past her trauma. But Sarah tells Nita there's no guy in her life. Just then, Nita spots Aldo sitting there, staring right at Sarah. She says that boy keeps staring at you. When Sarah looks, he's indeed staring intensely. Nita then leaves to go to work. She works at that coffee shop. Sarah keeps turning back to look and Aldo is staring at her really creepily. This makes Sarah uncomfortable, so she leaves. Aldo approaches Sarah and tells her he believes in supernatural things. A few years ago, his sister died and recently he visited a place where he saw her. He tells Sarah that if she's going through trauma, she should go there too and she might see whoever died. He gives her the address and leaves immediately. Sarah is left shocked by everything he said. Then Nita returns and asks Sarah what happened, but Sarah doesn't tell her anything. When Sarah gets home, she starts researching the place Aldo gave her the address for. She checks online and thinks it might be useful because she wants to see her mother again and apologize to her. Next, we're shown how her mother actually died. Sarah was in school and used to hang out a lot with her friends. Her mother ran a small shop. But Sarah didn't tell her friends that it was her mom because she thought if they found out she was the daughter of a tea seller, her other friends would make fun of her. When Sarah's mom sees her, she waves hi, but Sarah doesn't respond. Afterward, Sarah gets into a car with her friends, while her mom is riding a scooter to buy some supplies. But then, on the road, her mom has an accident and dies, which makes Sarah feel extremely guilty. The people there don't show their faces to Sarah. She gets scared, and that's when she wakes up because it was a dream. Right then, she sees her mother's spirit in front of her, but without a face, which terrifies her. She falls down, looks around, and realizes it's morning. Everything was a dream. Now Sarah meets Nita and tells her everything, saying she wants to go to that hotel too because she believes her mother's spirit will meet her there, and she can apologize. But Nita tells her she doesn't feel good about going there at all, but since she's her best friend, she agrees to go with her. That night, both arrive at the address given, park their car outside the hotel and go inside. At the reception, no one is in sight. When they ring the bell, a man suddenly appears at the reception. He checks their IDs and asks how many rooms they need. They say they need just one. He then calls the caretaker, Furman, and tells him to take them to room number 5. Furman starts leading them to room number 5. They ask him if there are any other guests here, and he says they're the only 2 guests. No one else is present. Sarah mentions that she saw a lady there, but Furman says it might be her imagination because no one else can be here besides them. He then shows them their room. Nita notices there's no TV or telephone in the room. When she asks Furman about it, he says nothing works here. Hearing all this, they're both shocked and settle in. Nita finds a broom inside a closet and tells Sarah there must be some spirit here because brooms are kept to scare them away since spirits fear brooms. Then Sarah takes out her mother's photo and places it on the table. She goes to wash her face and while doing so in the mirror she sees someone sitting in the bathtub. When she turns around, there's no one. She thinks it's probably her imagination. But when she looks in the mirror again, she sees someone standing there. When she goes over, there's no one. Shocked, she rushes out. Meanwhile, Nita has come out and starts celebrating her birthday with her. Nita gives her a birthday present, a bracelet, which Sarah really likes. Afterward, looking at her mother's photo, Sarah falls asleep. That bracelet looks like the necklace to Setsuko, the one she gave her daughter before dying. At night, while both are sleeping, we see Setsuko's spirit standing there, staring at them. When Sarah senses someone around, she wakes up suddenly and sees no one. The next morning, while they're having breakfast, Nita notices Sarah isn't wearing the bracelet. She asks if she didn't like it. Sarah says she just forgot to wear it. Just then, the hotel owner arrives and Sarah asks why there's no guard here. He says he's been working at this hotel for 40 years, and no one is willing to work here. So for years, only 2 people work here, me and Furman. After he leaves, Sarah asks Nita if she believes in ghosts. Nita asks what kind of silly question that is. Sarah says she felt like someone was there, but Nita says it's just her imagination. Meanwhile, while Furman is cleaning their room, he spots the bracelet, gets shocked, and when they both enter suddenly, he rushes out. They think he came to steal, so they check their stuff, but nothing is missing. Then Sarah goes to the kitchen to see Furman and asks why no one else is here. He says someone told him about this hotel, and they said they saw their dead sister here, so that's why she came, to see her dead mother. Furman says it's a peaceful hotel, and he can't give more information. Sarah asks why there's no room number 8 because when they were handing over keys there were 7 and 9, but no key for 8. She'd noticed it wasn't there. Furman refuses to say anything after hearing that. Meanwhile, Nita in the room suddenly sees a little girl running by. When she turns, there's no one. Shocked, she wonders what's happening, and then she sees the little girl in front of her, calling her mom. Nita gets terrified and rushes out. Sarah meets her there and tells her to come with her. Furman wants to show them something and takes both to room number 8, saying it's been locked for centuries. This room is where the Japanese woman and her daughter stayed, and their enemy killed both in this very room. Back then, this hotel was their house and Japanese military officers lived here. Sarah says since he saw his sister in this room, why not let her stay here? But Furman warns that staying in this room isn't without danger. When the bombs fell on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the Japanese emperor ordered his soldiers to surrender. Some soldiers refused, so he sent a warrior who killed all the soldiers. Sachiko was the wife of one of those soldiers and she died in this room with her daughter. It said their spirits are here. Just then, the hotel owner arrives, shocked to see them there, and tells them to get out immediately. That night, Sarah is in the room on her phone while Nita is in the bathroom. Sarah sees a spirit there, grabs the broom and shows it to the spirit, but it won't leave. Nita hears Sarah scream and realizes she's in danger, so she tries to get out, but there's no water in the jet. Then she sees the little girl's spirit in front of her, gets scared, and leaves without washing up. She meets Sarah, who's already terrified. The hotel owner arrives and says dinner is ready. They both go out for dinner. While serving food, Furman sees the bracelet on Sarah's hand and tells her to remove it immediately because wearing it could be dangerous for her. Nita arrives and asks what happened, but Sarah doesn't tell her. Suddenly, they hear the spirit's voice from the upstairs room. Both rush up but find no one there. They go back to their room and sleep. At night, while sleeping, Setsuko's spirit returns. In Sarah's dream, she tells her to come to her, not here. When Nita wakes up, she sees Sarah isn't on her bed. Worried, she goes to look for her, but the girl's spirit approaches her. Scared, it suddenly vanishes. Nita grabs the broom from the closet but sees the girl's spirit sitting on the closet. Meanwhile, Sarah thinks her mother's spirit is there, so she approaches and calls her mom. But when she turns, her mother's eyes are missing, terrifying her. That's when she wakes up. It was a dream. But she realizes she's not in her room. She's woken up in room number 8. This scares her even more. Meanwhile, Nita is trying to chase away the little girl's spirit but realizes her friend is in room 8, so she heads there to save her. Sarah sees the spirit in the room, terrified as it's about to attack her, but Nita arrives and opens the door, saving Sarah. Now both decide they can't stay in this hotel another moment. So Sarah gets in the car right away and Nita drives her home. The security guard there sees them arrive, but Nita puts Sarah to bed, saying she needs sleep and then leaves. The next morning, Sarah wakes up feeling really weird. When she goes to the gate, she feels like she's back in the hotel room. She hears voices, covers her ears and suddenly wakes up. It was a dream. She gets up, goes to the gate again, and the next moment she finds herself in the classroom where she sees herself doing something at the desk. Shocked, she runs away. She's lost in her own past memories and due to her trauma, these memories are coming back. She sees her friend who tells her to go to the mall with her. Terrified, she tries to leave, but the friend grabs her leg and insists she come. That's when Sarah wakes up. She was dreaming and is extremely scared. She rushes to meet Nita, tells her everything, and says she doesn't know what's real and what's not because her mind has completely stopped working. Nita says she should see a doctor, but Sarah insists she doesn't need one. After meeting her, Sarah goes home. That night, while sleeping, she suddenly sees Setsuko's spirit in her blanket. Terrified, she wakes up, opens the gate and goes to the roof, where she sees a lady who jumps down from the hotel. She rushes down and sees Setsuko's spirit there, which terrifies her. Then she runs to the lower floor and sees another woman's spirit drinking tea. Seeing all this, she's completely shocked and doesn't understand what game her mind is playing. She hides under the reception desk and the spirit approaches her. When Sarah looks up, the spirit is gone, but when she turns back, she sees it, faceless. Terrified, she finds herself in room number 8, where another spirit is present. Scared, she wakes up suddenly. In the morning, Nita gets a call from Sarah's father asking where his daughter is. Then Nita goes to meet her friend. The security guard stares at her creepily. Nita enters her room and asks what's wrong with her. Sarah says she's having visions of the hotel over and over. Nita tries to handle her, puts her to sleep, and we see the apartment security guard peeking through the curtains at the door to see what's happening inside. When Sarah falls asleep, she ends up back in the hotel, where she sees a lady reading a book. Then she sees a little girl running and her own mother. She follows her mother into a room, but when she gets there, her mother is invisible. Nita wakes her up, breaking the dream. That's why she wants to go back to the hotel to find out why this is happening to her. Nita agrees, puts her in the car, and first takes her to the graveyard, where Sarah sees her mother's grave. Then Nita takes her back to the hotel. When they arrive and call out, no one is there. Sarah goes to the upper floor and sees her mother. Meanwhile, Nita goes to Furman and asks what's really happening here. Furman asks why she came back. But then Nita sees posters there, of people who were killed in this hotel. Furman says he warned them to leave, but they didn't listen. He even told her friend not to wear the bracelet, but she didn't listen and kept it on. Nita asks why he's saying all this. Furman explains that whoever wore that bracelet has died in this hotel. Meanwhile, Sarah meets her mother's spirit and is overjoyed. The film cuts to Nita, where the owner arrives and asks why she's back. Nita says she's here with her friend. Furman and the owner are shocked. They take her to room number 8, where they find Sarah's body, strangled as if killed by a spirit. Nita is horrified and the police are called for investigation. When the police arrive, he says the body is a week old, meaning Sarah died a week ago. He questions the owner, who says Nita came with her friend Sarah but left alone, so maybe she killed Sarah. We're shown the scene where Nita is driving away alone. Then they take the statement of Sarah's apartment security guard. They call Nita and question her, asking why she left Sarah and went alone. She says she took Sarah with her and has been going to her apartment alone for a week to meet her. The inspector says the apartment guard confirmed she went alone, not with Sarah, meaning she's mentally unstable and must have killed Sarah there. Shocked, Nita thinks how that's possible. Sarah was with her for a week after leaving the hotel. She starts laughing, thinking it's a hallucination. The police realize her mind is gone and send her to jail as punishment. In jail, Nita hallucinates Sarah and the little girl evaluating her, realizing it's not real at all. Then she finds herself in the hotel room, with Setsuko's spirit behind her. It turns out this spirit orchestrated everything and killed Sarah a week ago. It was showing Nita visions that Sarah was still alive. Finally, we see Aldo going to Sarah's grave and saying, "I told you ghosts are real." And with that, the movie ends. So friends, that was the story of Hotel Sakura. Let us know in the comments what you thought of this story. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do so and hit the bell icon for notifications. And friends, don't forget to like and share the video.